right, welcome to a very special episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we usually take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies inspired it. But we already did that with this one. We had an episode on The Irishman. It was episode 103, and I definitely encourage you to go back and take a listen to that one if you haven't yet. But of course, watch The Irishman first because we do get into lots of spoilers. But I had some requests online for my parents to come back on the podcast and talk about The Irishman because I guess who doesn't want to hear from my parents about a movie like this? I guess that's the reason why. I don't know. But they obliged the fans, and I got a chance to interview them the other night and ask them their thoughts on Martin Scorsese's new gangster epic film that, of course, hit Netflix on Thanksgiving Day. So what you're about to hear is not what a usual episode of Piecing It Together is like. This is a bonus special episode. It is my parents giving their thoughts on The Irishman, so enjoy it. Don't hold anything awful that my dad says against me. He's from a different generation. I'm sure a lot of the characters on screen in The Irishman would say things like he says. So, chalk it up to that, and that's not me. So enjoy this, and we'll be back with another regular episode of Piecing It Together coming up later this week. All right, so I'm here with my parents, and this has been requested online for them to join me on the podcast to talk about The Irishman. Mom, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
All right, how you doing, Dad?
Don't ask.
Here we go.
All right, let's start off with first impressions. What did you guys think of the movie?
Well, first of all, I think your father's crazy. He watched it like it was a miniseries. I think
He's one of those?
in 4 parts or something because he couldn't stay up long enough.
It was wonderful.
He almost went to the theater with me to see it.
I really, really, really
Wasn't
enjoyed
it having
it.
Academy Award time? I mean, it's officially wasn't in the theater except for a day or two, and it's been it can be on Netflix for the rest of our lives.
Do you
What's
like?
gonna happen? What?
Do you like that? That movies are going to be, these big movies are going to be straight to Netflix?
Because movie houses are so cold.
He doesn't care if people lose their jobs.
And who's the Irishman?
No, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was about 15, 20 minutes too long.
How can it be just 15, 20 minutes too long?
Most people say an hour and a half too long. You say 15.
If I was in the theater, I would have had to get up and pee in the middle, and that would have caused a problem. But being that I knew a few people back in the day, like when I went to high school in Bensonhurst.
Let's get serious. for a moment.
Those guys.
You tell me you don't, at your age, you don't pee in the theater? Why don't you just let it hang out? and pee on
Those
the
guys
floor?
were so frickin' real that it was absolutely ridiculous. Okay? I thought the acting was superb. I did think Pacino overacted a little, and I just adored the way Pesci pulled it off. And I don't have anything bad to say about DeNiro, other than Meet the Fockers or whatever that was called.
Well,
I
what
think
about
it's
you,
great.
Dad? What was your initial thought of the movie,
My-
other than that you got to watch it at home?
My initial thought was I loved, and I'm not really that big of an Al Pacino fan. I mean, if anything,
If anything,
well,
me.
the stuff that DeNiro's been doing lately has been horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Pesci's disappeared somewhere. He's on some South Sea island somewhere.
He lives in
I don't see
Vegas.
it. Does he live in
Yeah.
Vegas? So where's he hiding? In Vegas. And then Al Pacino, I liked him in some of his movies, but I've never been a fan. Now I'm a fan.
All right.
I think
I
Ray
like-
Romano was terrific.
Screw him. I
thought he
liked
was-
Al Pacino, Ray Morano. I hate him since day one.
In case you're all wondering what that noise in the background is, one of her 6 dogs is licking the floor.
5, and 1 is yours.
the autistic one, Koda Bear.
So you started to touch on who your favorite was. Mom, you said
Pesci.
Pesci's your favorite.
Yeah,
Dad,
hands
your favorite's
down.
Pacino.
Pacino.
All right.
Yeah, and I remember the shooting at Umberto's because that was like supposed to be off limits. It's a family place, and that should have never happened in Little Italy. You didn't do that. You did that out in Howard Beach, and then you dumped the bodies. I also remember the Italian American Club when he did the Colombo. I forgot, it might have been Joe Colombo when they assassinated him. I was a member of that group for a while. Actually had a card. Yeah, I don't remember where he was shot, somewhere in New York. And then Sparks. Do you remember Sparks Steakhouse we used to eat at? And they offed a guy right in front. So I remember.
So is Hoffa the Irishman?
No.
No.
Was that
Who's the
other guy?
Irishman?
DeNiro's the Irishman.
Oh,
He
he
was-
was Irish, De Niro?
Yes.
So anyway, back to a scene I want to expound upon.
Okay.
Remember when they were in Miami?
Expound away.
Okay. When they were in Miami, when I was in Miami, I was about 21 years old.
Sonny, you were a hooker in Miami.
I was
You
not a
can't-
hooker. I was living there for about 2 months. I went down there with a Russian girlfriend of mine. We used to work at the Concord together. And then this other girl came down, and her uncle made the best Italian ices in Brooklyn. Even better than Spumoni Gardens, which still stands, but I'm sure Luigi Alba closed a long time ago. And Rosalie Alba was my girlfriend, and with the three of us, we get invited over to this island. We get picked up on the beach, and we go to a big island across from Miami where everything is an estate. And then the guys take us out to the races. I think it was greyhounds.
Was any of this necessary?
Yeah, no, it's a good story.
I'm sure it's going
Give
somewhere.
us the long version.
Well, yeah. Well, what impressed me with these guys, forget the fact I knew, what it was, but they didn't have to go up to the window to bet. There were runners that came down and took the bets from them, and I thought, oh boy, these guys, they're kind of powerful, if nothing else. And then when we got back to the island, and then they were getting ready to take us back home, one of them came over to me and said, so and so likes you, and he would be interested in setting you up in an apartment in New York if you would be interested in that. The only problem is
Was he looking at you or somebody else?
he says the only problem is
He knew how you'd end up or work out.
you'd have to keep your mouth shut. And as soon as I heard that, even though I was only 21 or whatever, no, me keeping my mouth
Sonny
shut.
liked to always open her mouth, even when she was a kid.
I used to hang out with these guys down at Hessing's Luncheonette on 49th and
Another
13th.
important
Well,
little
yeah,
bit.
no, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I hung out with Teddy Bassetti and and guess who was a
Eddie
part?
Bassetti, is that real name?
Guess who was a part of the group? Carmine Arico.
Oh.
And now tell me, who's Carmine Arico?
Have no Italian guy?
Yeah,
That's
and
all I
he
know.
became John Saxon.
Oh,
It was
God.
between Teddy
And where is he
and
now?
Carmine. he signs a lot of Bruce Lee posters.
That's what he does?
Anyway, back to the story.
I got you.
I
Hold
really,
on.
that's
The boss is calling. What do you want?
What's happening?
I would look.
Go! You can go up. Go!
You could talk all this yelling in the back.
Push his ass out.
Go!
Trying to get the dog on the couch.
I also had a girlfriend whose father was in construction down near not Sheepshead Bay. Oh, yeah, it was probably near Coney Island. And I know every Sunday the guys came over for a meeting, and we were not allowed down in the basement when they had their meeting. So yeah, I believe that, and those restaurants in Bensonhurst, they were so elegant, and it was really so nice. And it was because the mob controlled it. Now everything is a shithole.
Well, Mom just told a story. Dad, what about you? What did it remind you of and from your life?
Absolutely nothing.
I thought for sure the music, if nothing
Oh,
else.
the music and Still at Night at the beginning.
And throughout. There was
Did
all,
it get a critic review? I mean, at the end, did they give credit to Paris? and
Yeah,
Five
they
Seconds?
did. I watched it to
Probably.
the end. Yeah, it was that, and there was probably a Sinatra song or two.
there was that one performer. Who was that?
Yeah,
The,
that was Little Steven Van
Who was he
Zandt.
playing?
Now, why did you tell me that? Did you know that was Stephen Van
I
Zandt?
told
did.
you.
Why did you tell me that?
I
told
didn't tell you, but I knew it.
I knew it was
Why
Little
did you
Steven
tell
because
me
I
that? I
watched
like
till the
Little
end.
You didn't ask.
He was playing what's his name? The
And I
guy.
don't want to see again a
Who was
nine-hour
he
movie
playing?
with Stephen
The guy that the mob loves so much.
Jerry Bale.
That's who he was
I know
playing.
everything you're saying. I know all the people you're saying.
Okay.
But they don't mean anything to me. The movie was a very good movie.
You know who came from my neighborhood?
Oh, here
Vic
we go.
Damone. He was from 39th and 14th.
Victor Malafran.
His name was Vito Farinola.
Were
Look
you-
it up.
Were you guys Hoffa fans?
Not really, because I'm 50-50 with the union. I'm for and against the union because I don't like
I knew
strong.
very little about
I'm
Hoffa.
for the benefits, but I don't like strong arming.
But I
So-
liked Pacino's portrayal of somebody I knew very little about.
Mm-hmm.
It showed that I
They
missed a
s-
lot.
They like to say he's buried under, I think, Giant Stadium in Jersey. But I doubt it. I think the wood chipper is a lot more realistic.
That's more realistic.
Yeah.
Do you think this guy Frank is telling the truth with this story?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. He's dead. So that's a little bit of
Was
a
that
problem.
Frank
The I
Sheeran?
Paint Houses
Sheeran, right?
that they wrote the book.
Yeah,
You think this is really what happened?
I think it
They,
could be.
but they don't, yeah, but you know, snitches get stitches, that kind
But
of
he's
shit.
dead.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Well, that's why he wouldn't
these
say
guys
anything.
go to their grave, except for Gravano. I don't know. Is he still alive? Gotti's guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, these guys.
Some name dropper, isn't she? She forgets the name of 6 of her dogs because
They all
it's
look
too much
alike.
for her.
Speaking of name dropping, did anybody remind you of any of your buddies, your Italian friends?
Not at all. All right, shout out to Citro. Hey, Frankie. I really and truly, I really knew guys like that, and the thing even with the smoking in the car, yeah, you had a place and you stayed in that place and you didn't take any chances.
So, how do you feel this movie fits in with other mafia type movies? Are you big fans
Perfect.
of those classics?
Perfect.
Oh yeah, Godfather. Come
I'm
on,
not.
come on. You didn't like Godfather? Casino?
I'm not that big of a
Goodfellas?
fan, but it fits
Hello?
in perfectly.
Yeah, it
He
did.
did a great job.
Even though it's based on that guy's word, and we don't know whether or not that guy
I didn't
really.
even know it was based on anybody's word.
Yeah, it is, Frank's word.
So, all right, I didn't
So,
know that. And I
it's
missed
just
that
that-
part?
You might have.
Some guy, yeah. Yeah, no, some of the guys, in order to stay alive, I guess they had to rat people out, like Romano. He
The
put
guy who played
he
the
put
little
Gotti
Al
away.
Capone guy. That-
He played Al Capone on Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah,
Stephen Grant. He's
yeah,
great.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, the guy in this movie who played the tough guy, who a short guy.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Pro.
Tony Pro.
Tony
Yeah.
Pro. Tony Pro.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know who that is.
He was good. Oh yeah, he's done a lot of things. He plays the same role like an Al Capone.
Yeah, okay, but I like, there's a certain class and a certain mystique involved with the mob. Yeah, they'll kill you, that's okay, but they'll do it, quietly.
Oh, so that's okay too. That's all right.
I have nothing to do
Do
with
you
it.
got a number I can call?
Why, the records, hey, in the beginning, didn't they say that guy Morris, what's his name? He was, wasn't he in the mob?
Well, they stopped it many times to talk about the people and how they all died.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
kept freeze
With
framing it because they're all
12
dead.
shots to the head, and right. That's true. It's just, it just put me back in Brooklyn again. It just felt so
It
good.
felt great. Felt great.
So what about Scorsese as a filmmaker? Do you love Scorsese?
I think he's way better than Tarantino.
I was just going to say the same
Thank
thing.
you. And he's
Same
got
thing.
real bad asthma,
Another
That's why
Another
he
point.
couldn't go out and play with the kids.
Yeah, I like his stuff much better.
But
than
yeah, guess what
Tarantino.
my favorite Scorsese movie is? And it's not
Mean
not
Fellas.
Raging.
Mean Streets.
Mean Streets, right. Now that to me, he can make all
Yeah,
this
that's a
big,
guy who did nothing for
this
me in the movie.
Technicolor shit
Harvey
and all.
Keitel,
Mm.
he could have done so much
Yeah,
more.
he should.
did
Maybe
not.
he should have had a bigger role in the movie
Yeah.
because he was brilliant in Mean Streets and
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of other
I
stuff.
know. But,
Yeah, Mean Streets. I mean, gee whiz, it was just so real. Trying to collect on loans and shit. Oh my God. Yeah, I knew a lot of guys like that.
Well, this is a kind of ridiculous question, but during the press tour for this, every chance reporters could get, they would ask people what they thought about Scorsese versus Marvel, which is a very stupid battle. It never actually existed. Scorsese never said he didn't like Marvel movies. He just said that they're a different thing from real cinema, from
Marvel,
movies with.
like Captain type movies.
What the hell's a Captain?
You know, those hero guys.
Well,
The comic. What the
well, do
hell?
you prefer a movie like this or a Captain movie?
Oh, hands down, this.
Captain.
All right, the guys look good when they wear, their little tighty whities and their little skinny outfits and all. But this-
Name one superhero.
Green Lantern.
Oh my God.
Well, only because Bruce Lee played Kato.
Okay.
That's all. Otherwise, I couldn't give a shit. You know.
What about you, Dad?
I think for Scorsese to make that comment is ridiculous.
Superman.
Well, remember, he didn't say that they're bad. He said they're different, and the media latched onto it as if that means they're bad.
I haven't seen a superhero movie in a long time.
Yeah, you like that guy.
You just watched Joker the other day.
You like Ryan?
That's to me, he's not a superhero.
He's
Okay.
a super
He's a
villain.
Schmuck.
He was
Schmuck with a hair
He
lip.
was he was really. That movie was stunning.
Yeah, you came into me crying.
I was very moved by it. Mental illness
God,
is
leave me alone.
it's very. Look what I live
I thought
with.
you liked it, Dad.
I liked it. She hated it.
I didn't
Wait,
hate
what?
it.
She just said she loved
She
it.
said it was too dark.
I
It was
said
so
I
dark.
wanted to see it a second time.
She probably meant she couldn't see the
light.
TV.
I said I even wanted to see it again. That's how much I loved it.
Did it make any money?
No, all kidding aside, I think Joker was phenomenal, and I thought The Irishman was a masterpiece. So
Yeah, I thought it was a
shoot me.
masterpiece.
That's all.
All right.
That's
Well,
all.
But do you
well,
think
I don't
want
want to see Superman versus
Any
Batman.
heat because of Netflix versus the theaters?
of course.
Of course.
And that's the big story.
People are
And
going to
the
lose their
theaters-
jobs.
The theaters are going to have to go out of business because they still have to pay the same rent. And if
I
there are
s-
less people coming, they're going to go out of
The
business.
theaters I went to in Brooklyn,
like Barnes
they're
and
gone.
Nobles and all that stuff, all the bookstores, they're going out of business. Barnes and Noble.
You better
is
hope they
hanging-
don't.
Barnes and Noble is hanging like.
Because then I'm going to an island and disappearing.
Well,
Your-
Barnes and Nobles is hanging out by a thread.
Your first wife's
You know, last time I
picture
paid for
was
book
in a.
at Barnes and
A
Noble.
I'm
book- a
talking
bookstore
here.
versus a movie theater.
14. What?
Your first wife's picture
Yeah.
was in a photography studio next to the Loews 46th Street. And the Loews 46th Street looked like the Loews Kings. And the Loews Kings, they actually, that was over on Flatbush. They used that for some of the biggest scenes in one of the biggest mob movies, maybe Godfather or whatever. I just don't remember
I knew
what
she
it
was
was.
going somewhere. I mean, I don't know why she brought in my ex-wife. you
Well,
know?
she's dead. May
What's
she
her name, by the
rest in
way?
peace. Sonia
What's my father's name?
Hyman.
Sonny.
Yes, Sonny with an O.
I don't know.
That was a nickname. I'm sure it wasn't on his birth certificate.
No, it was Hyman.
That's why when
What
we
is Hyman?
we don't want this is not X-rated. That's why we almost named the adopted kid with an H.
Yeah,
Remember?
here we go again with this, with this Japanese, what's his name? Hapsung.
We were gonna name him Hop Sing after the cook in Bonanza. Hop Sing Rosen.
Well, I think on that note, let's get one last. We'll start with you, Mom, and then go to Dad. One last thought on The Irishman to close it out.
I thought it was spectacular. I thought it was beautifully acted. It was very well written, and I enjoyed it. Except it was just a little bit too long.
What about you, Dad?
Well, let me think. No, I didn't mind the length of it. It was too good to really mind the length of it. I
Okay.
liked it. It's a nice extravaganza as far as I was
Okay.
concerned. Women. Was there many women in it?
That's not.
No.
No, that's.
I noticed that.
That's
there was
real life.
nobody. There was nobody like I
Yeah.
could say, "Hey, she's a good-looking woman," you know. So I mean, that's two stripes.
I could have been a gama.
I don't know where. Anyway, it could have been a paisan. Anyway,
Lulu, don't make him.
wonderful movie.
This
Wonderful
dog
movie.
has licked the floor the whole time. 17 straight minutes.
Koda Bear, stop it!
His birthday is December 25th.
17 minutes.
I have one question.
Okay.
What is Scorsese's next project?
The Killers of the Something Moon with DiCaprio and De Niro.
I don't like DiCaprio.
Yeah,
He-
I don't like
a crime movie.
they never.
You don't like Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, I think he's
I don't
a
like.
shitty-
Matter of fact, in that movie,
and I
Once
think he's
Upon a
ugly,
Time,
and
I
I-
like the other one, but not
And
DiCaprio.
I think his head is misshapen.
Oh,
and I,
God.
Yeah, no, I don't like him. I saw him in one movie. That was enough. I think with the big boat, the one with the big boat,
A movie called The Big Boat.
AKA Titanic. No, I don't like him.
Well,
I
there
don't.
you have it. They don't like Leonardo DiCaprio,
No.
but they love Pacino and
Oh, I love
Pesci,
Pacino.
and De Niro's just okay.
And you
I'm
should go
hoping
see
that,
early Pacino
Leonardo
movies.
is not listening to this webcast, so he's going to come put out a contract on you. I love you.
No,
Leo.
he's artsy fartsy.
I love you, Leo.
No, he's like no. He's artsy fartsy. His parents were hippies and shit like that. So
What does that mean?
not gonna kill me.
God, so much
No, if anything, they'll
unusable
just
stuff.
give me some poison weed or something. That's all.
What's happening? All right. I'm
Good
gonna
night,
stop it.
everybody.
Wait, before we go, is there
Again?
a movie on the way that you could think of that might be the next time you guys join me for an episode?
What could we
Well, with
possibly
Sonny,
watch
it would
together?
be most likely Looney Tunes movie. I'm not going to another Tupac.
What about
movie.
well, if there's another Tupac,
If
okay.
Tupac comes back? Yeah, I understand.
Okay, what about like that King Kong versus Godzilla? Would you go see
Oh,
that with
God,
me?
then that's what I'm talking about. I don't go see movies like that.
Okay, and
I'll
with-
go with you almost to see any movie you're saying, but I won't go with anything that she wants to go see. So,
All right, we're gonna have to see if something
Kong
happens.
versus Godzilla.
that I would
You
see.
like that all your life.
Yeah, I did. I gave our nephew my
You gave it a
Godzilla.
thumbs up.
Yeah, my Godzilla toys.
I
are
do
gone.
too. Give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
For those who can't see, I gave her the finger.
Okay.
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm not going to play out with a song today because it's just a special mini bonus episode, but I do want to remind you to make sure you're subscribed to Piecing It Together on your podcast app of choice. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. And if you like special bonus episodes like this, first of all, we got a whole bunch more special bonus episodes coming up for the end of the year, end of the decade specifically. So keep an eye out for those. And if you want to hear my parents again, let me know. We'll try to get them on again for something. So thanks as always for listening, and we'll see you with a regular full episode of Piecing It Together coming up this Friday.
And all points west.
How are you, everybody? It's Thursday, December 5th.
This is just a test.
Okay.
I have a lot of better places to be.